My son was born, Troy. It was just an amazing event, like for most fathers. It changes your lifestyle and your thinking about the future, and so it was a real joy for me. 3 years later, we had Alana, and she had a very different personality than Troy. She was very outgoing and very energetic, but she too loved athletics. She loved Troy, of course, and Troy loved her too. They looked out for each other. They were very, very close and helping each other. We wanted to have more children, and so we were lucky enough to try, and Carmen became pregnant with twins. Carmen took the kids, and I said goodbye to them, and I said at the last minute, I said, make sure you're wearing your helmets, because Alana wanted to ride her bike. About 15 minutes later, the phone rang, and it went into the answering machine. A voice was screaming on the other end. There's been an accident, the kids are hurt.
Son Troy and daughter Elena were no match for the Mercedes that mowed them down just days before Halloween 2003. Jimena Barreto had blacked out behind the wheel, a result of her chronic abuse of prescription pills.
I started to learn about the accident and what had happened. She was a doctor shopper of narcotic pills, particularly Vicodin, a very powerful painkiller narcotic, and she had been receiving thousands of these pills from her HMO, Kaiser Permanente. And some of my own digging into on the prescribing habits by Kaiser Permanente's doctors, and they prescribed what they said was because she asked for it and said she was in pain. I felt that the doctors had to be accountable for their actions and their role in the deaths of my children. There is a law in California called MICRA, which I had never heard of before. And the MICRA law limited the non-economic damages. Most people, I think, don't know there's a law called MICRA and how it limits the ability for people who lose a child or lose a family member to seek accountability and seek some justice. Well, I've worked on several legislative bills over the last years.
I'm spearheading today a ballot measure that will provide 4 key elements for public safety and victims' rights. This database also has an electronic component, a component that I designed 4 years ago for Jerry Brown when he was Attorney General, and helped pass the legislation needed so doctors and pharmacists could have instant access to any patient's prescription drug history record instantly in their office prior to prescribing.
And I've worked heavily in the area of prescription narcotics in California. And prescription narcotic deaths tie very closely to the MICRA law, because in these deaths where they're fraudulently prescribed or overprescribed or prescribed for the financial gain of a fraudulent doctor, these families lose a loved one and then they have no recourse back through the court system to seek justice.
For all the victims of medical malpractice in California, we're fighting for your rights. Thank you.